What's up, everyone? It is Nate from Truly Daebak with the first episode of the QueendomCast, not the Daebak cast. I almost said something else. So yeah, this is a not weekly. I think we're gonna hope for semi-weekly, bi-weekly. Which one's every other week?
It's moving fast. So
I think the plan is every other week. So I don't know if that's semi-weekly or bi-weekly.
I think it changed. Semi and bi-weekly mean like the same thing. Bi-weekly can mean twice in 1 week or every 2
it can
weeks.
be both. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's dumb.
I learned this at my job.
It's gonna be one of those. Hopefully, if we can stay on track. But yeah, we are going to be covering Mnet's new show, Queendom. As you can see, I'm joined by Sam, one of our Discord mods. She's been on the Daebak cast a good chunk of times now, probably like what, 5 or 6?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you're familiar with her. If you're not, she's one of our Discord mods, which you'll hear about Discord in a second. So yeah, if you don't know what Truly Daebak is, we are a YouTube channel that mainly does a podcast called DaebakCast, where we just talk about K-pop and Korean music, entertainment stuff. So if you enjoy K-pop or Korean entertainment, please subscribe, like the videos, share them, follow us on Twitter, comment. And you can join our Discord server, which there's a link to in our videos. Where if you want a nice cool place to hang out and talk about K-pop or pretty much anything else, we have a nice little community there, so come check it out. Maybe if you do something cool and then become a mod, you can eventually be on a Truly Daebak show randomly that you probably weren't
and
expecting.
We also do giveaways in the Discord.
Yeah, we do giveaways. We do
free
fun
albums.
things like song ratings where you can win free albums, or Nitro. If you know what Discord is, Nitro is cool. Let's use gifts as emotes. So yeah, it's cool. Come check us out. As for Queendom, Queendom is a show where before we get started, sorry, this is gonna be this first episode is gonna be a little sloppy, I would say, because originally Andrew was supposed to be on this show hosting it, but some work stuff came up, so he's gonna be off, and now it's just gonna be me and Sam. We're hoping to get maybe another guest or some other people to come hang out with us on future episodes. So we are a little unprepared for this first episode. I apologize. But I'm going to go over what Queendom is. If you don't know, it's an Mnet show. It's a competition show. It's kind of a survival show, but not really.
Yeah, kind of.
It's not really.
Going to get cut.
Yeah, exactly. So they put it in. So Queendom is a competition show where 6 girl groups, with girl groups, because one of them's a soloist, compete, where they're all gonna put out an album. Supposedly, we're not sure about that.
I actually did talk to someone who it was just weird subs. And,
so it's a single.
Korean translates no, it's not single.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we thought originally was. So 6 girl groups and / soloists will put out a single on the same day to compete to see who gets same time. Like they all release at the exact same time. MVs will release at the same time. Songs will be released on streaming services at the same time. So then it's competition to see who can have the best streaming numbers and music video views and everything. Which is something we don't see in K-pop, because most comebacks are timed. All the companies are talking to each other and kind of know roughly when songs are going to release and try not to step on each other, at least for like-minded groups. So yeah, this is a competition, and then they said that you could get cut, but we know no one's gonna get cut. It's like Stray Kids, where they're like, oh, all 9 members could debut as a group, or we could cut people. It's like, you knew from the beginning nobody was really gonna get cut, and all 9 of them were gonna be in Stray Kids. So yeah, the 6 groups are AOA, Mamamoo, Oh My Girl, Lovelyz, I-dle, and then Park Bom from formerly of 2NE1 is the soloist, the sole soloist on the show. So there's no huge, insanely popular group. It's not like SNSD or like Twice showed up to this.
No, but that would be such a cool idea, though. Yeah, like SNSD, Twice, Blackpink, like get all the
the biggest,
groups.
like all the big threes, like all their groups. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool one. Well, because that was something they joked about, was SNSD showing up. So yeah, I guess we can get into it. That's pretty much the pitch of the show. I don't think I missed anything important, really.
They just have like different rounds, like
so there'll be different rounds of like, I'm not even really sure what the rounds are for, because like, if it all comes down to them releasing the songs at the exact same time to get the best numbers,
I think it's all just like getting hype,
just
like,
promotion.
Instance, right now, like AOA is getting a lot of hype, whereas like before, if they had just released a single, they would not be getting the same attention.
But like, as for the competition part of the rounds, I don't know if any of it really matters.
It only matters in that like one group could get cut, I guess.
Okay.
Which would be so sad.
No, I agree. I don't think they'll cut anyone. Like, even if the condition happens where they said they'll cut someone, I feel like they won't actually cut them.
Yeah.
It's just Mnet trying to create drama and more whatever. So yeah, they do rounds of performances, and it's similar to Produce, if you watch Produce, where they'll all perform during a show, and then the audience will vote, and they'll have different parameters for voting to see who won that round. And there's some like benefits. And like we said, they said if you lose 2 rounds in a row, you'll get cut from the show. Whether that actually happens or whether they'd actually cut someone is questionable, but that's what they said. That's the penalty. So yeah, and so far for the first round, the like reward was just getting to pick the.
Oh, you have to pick the order of like performances. Yes. And there is another perk from winning. If you've seen episode 3, pretty much like.
Well, they did it. Didn't they do it at the end of episode 2, where they picked which person they're covering?
Oh, so there's that.
But then,
so you have to pick. Well, yeah, it's not like a huge thing, but then you get a giant like changing room, and there's like a whole buffet.
Oh, you get like the better. Okay,
which so like totally makes up for like the changing room debacle that happened.
Which we'll talk about.
It's like they end up getting the biggest changing room anyway in the next episode.
That's funny.
But anyway. Let's start talking about the episode.
So we'll get started. So we're just gonna talk about the first 2 episodes through the first performances. So the show starts out with like some intros. I don't know if you wrote notes on all the intros.
Oh, yeah, I got notes for these.
I have small notes. I guess it started out with AOA's. And to be honest, theirs was pretty whatever in my opinion. Like, I didn't have too much to say.
Yeah, I did like how AOA is acknowledging the missing members. You know how they don't have they're down.
Yeah, I agree. It's really weird to see them as 5.
It's like same with Bom too. How she keeps talking about like missing her members. I think that's just something that it's whenever members leave a group, it's like never talked about.
Yeah,
I feel like in K-pop, so I think it's really cool that AOA is like, yeah, we like this actually is kind of hurting us. We haven't been around in a while, so it definitely kind of builds the story.
Yeah, thing to note is this is actually the first time AOA's performed after Mina left, so as 5. Choa left a little earlier, and they had performed as 6 for a while, but yeah, Mina left, and now there's only 5 of them, and they haven't done anything since she left, so they have to relearn all their songs and all their choreography and everything.
Yeah.
Anything else on AOA?
No, I didn't really have too much on the actual like intro.
Yeah. Mamamoo, I just said it reminded me that I wish they got better music again, because their harmonies are so good, because they just did the little harmony like vocalization stuff, and I'm just like, please bring back old Mamamoo.
Yeah.
G-Idles was I wasn't a fan of G-Idles because it was like they forgot they were a group for over half of it. Because literally like more than 50% of it was just Soyeon. Like,
I think this is like her best like rap.
It was really good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the most like hype intros of like a group. Like like that was them like coming and just being like, yeah, we know we're gonna crush the show, which they might. But I loved that intro. But I totally agree. It's like just Soyeon and like who cares about the group?
Well, because the thing was that bothered me, like if like her rap was awesome, her performance was awesome, but it was literally her and backup dancers. The other group members weren't even in the same shot as her. They were off to the side and they turned the camera to the others.
Oh yeah.
They did like 5 seconds of dance and then they came together and Soyeon had another like 30 seconds of rapping. So like the other members had almost no spotlight. So that bothered me a little bit, but I do agree the performance was good. OMG and Lovelyz I kind of combined because they both did pretty much the same thing. They just did instrumentals of their songs.
Except Oh My Girls was incredible.
I thought they were both good.
I don't really remember Lovelyz. It was kind of a snooze. I'm not a huge Lovelyz fan.
I was gonna say you have an OMG love bias over.
I'm wearing my swweatshirt.
Yeah,
my OMG sweatshirt.
Yeah, your OMG is your alt.
But Oh My Girls was amazing. It was like dark, really windy day. It was so good. I like freaked out when that dropped, like over a month ago now, probably. Oh, so good.
yeah, OMG's was really, really good. I thought Lovelyz was good as well. But they just did instrumentals of some of their songs. And then Bom barely got a performance because they kind of like did a whole thing where like you don't know who she is, but everyone knew she was on the show, and we've known for months. We've known for months, and there was one shot that was very clearly Park Bom, like it couldn't be anyone else. So she didn't even get an intro here. Later on when they like revealed her, she got a bit of one, but it was like hers was like 20 seconds long. It was shorter than everyone else's by a lot when they did show it, and it was just her singing, so like it was pretty like whatever. So then we get into where basically it's just the groups talking to their managers about the show, and kind of like what the concept is, and they kind of just did some stuff. I don't have too many notes on this part, but like they basically did some stuff where they like tried to guess what groups were on the show. And the managers like knew some of them but didn't know all of them, and they were like doing all their like entertainment company like connections to figure out what other groups are on the show, so what managers they knew, and like trying to keep a secret that they're on the show. And there wasn't too much going on there. I thought it was funny that like Soyeon lost all confidence when she found out Mamamoo was on the show.
Oh yeah, I love how all of them are just no Mamamoo. None of them wanted to go against Mamamoo. Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was nice to see their reactions.
I don't think I have much notes on this. My one note that I do have was when Oh My Girl was talking and Hyo Jung was like, "Who knows? We might win." And like all the reactions are just like,
that was Lovelyz did the same thing where they were like talking about it was like 95% chance to like win the first round or whatever, and it was like I think Sujung said like 90%, and Miju was like, let's say 95%.
Yeah. I love how the host just like bring it up too. I've been loving the host.
No, the hosts are great. So I guess we can take so then that leads into like the actual beginning of the show. So the hosts, which have come out a little bit and talked a little bit, but are Lee, who's a famous actress. She does dramas and stuff, and then Jung Sung-kyu, who he was actually a news anchor on JTBC. And became famous for going on Knowing Bros as like a guest. He's kind of like the teacher, because like it's supposed to be a classroom or whatever. He comes in as like the teacher character, and he's just overly ridiculous. And a big thing is he got famous from imitating the dude from Produce 101 season 1 doing It's Showtime, and so that's why he does that here. Because because there was the episode that IOI came on, they like parodied Produce 101, and he like dressed up as that dude and just did like these ridiculous over the top like motions and like just yelling all the time, and so he's kind of just stuck to that character and got pretty like famous doing it. So
I've been loving him on the show. I think he's hysterical.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's has really good comedic timing.
Yeah, because like he seems like a serious host, but like the stuff he's saying is obviously like not something a host would say.
Yeah, I think he's really good at keeping a serious face because he was a news anchor, and then he just uses that to add to his like comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, now all the groups kind of come in, and Park Bom's there first because so when they went over all of the groups that were gonna be on the show, they did reveal to all the groups that are on the show except Park Bom. They said there's one more, we're not gonna reveal it, so that they can get reactions when people see her. So yeah, the other 5 groups all knew about each other, but nobody knew Park Bom was gonna be there. So she was there first, like sitting in her seat,
all by herself.
And then Oh My Girl comes in, and she instantly like just destroys them.
That was so funny.
It was. So yeah, Oh My Girl walks in, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Park Bom," and they're all super surprised and like bowing and like really like crazy surprised. And she's just, I don't even remember the words she said, but she's just like, "Which group are you?
Which group are you guys?"
Yeah. It's like, and they're all just
faces dead. Like you could just see, like I think Sungi had like her solo cam. She's just like, "Oh."
Yep.
They did the interview. Funny. But I just, Bom has just been one of the best parts of the show for me. I think she's just so funny. Like that interaction was so good.
Yeah.
And even like when the other groups were coming in, like you could just see she just doesn't know so people. Lost. But then when Mamamoo came in, she just lights up, and she's just fangirling over them. Like, I forget if it was this episode or the second, but she ends up like getting their phone numbers or something like that.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it on one of the first 2 episodes that, she's like, I had my manager get their phone numbers. Like, she's like, I just really want to be friends with them.
She's like, I told them that we're friends. It's so cute.
Yeah. It was nice to see her like have some attachment to one of the groups because she had no idea. She like didn't know any of the younger groups. I think she knew AOA, but like didn't really.
Yeah.
But like she didn't know who Lovelyz was. She kind of knew I-dle, but like.
Yeah, I-dle wasn't there for the.
So
for this part.
Yep, I-dle wasn't there for this introduction part, because they had overseas concert.
Yeah.
So I for this part, pretty much everyone's super awkward.
Like there was like some cute interactions.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Lovelyz and Oh My Girl.
Yeah, Miju and Hyojung had a really cute. Yeah.
But so Oh My Girl and Lovelyz were pretty much the only 2 groups that like were friends and like interacted. So it was nice seeing all their interactions.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on this part?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I just said. The only other thing I said was Miju is gonna be everyone's friend. I feel like she's just so ridiculous. Let's see.
After that.
I remember. I just remember. One of my notes reminded me. So, the prize for winning was you get a solo comeback show on M Countdown. Which is like a pretty big deal actually,
especially for girl groups.
That's exactly what my notes are. Is Sohyun from AOA said like, I thought only super popular boy groups got those, which made me sad because it's
like
true.
thinking of guys that like groups that have had that, it's like BTS, GOT7, I think newest got one.
Maybe
like this past one with all 5.
Honestly, the only girl group I've ever seen get one is SNSD. Like, I can't think of any other girl groups who's gotten one.
Like IS one, but is that the same thing?
No, I don't.
Like a showcase.
I don't think they've gotten a showcase, like solo comeback show. They've gotten showcase, but
showcase.
It's a little different. But basically it's like a whole episode of M Countdown to Yourself is what it is, which is a big deal for girl groups.
Oh yeah, especially like any of these groups too. Like
none of them would ever. Like, no offense to them, but none of them are big enough to ever get their own. Like, Twice might get one sometime in the future, but
Twice could get one, I could see, but So yeah, so after that, pretty much the host came in, like explained the show, or at least like the first round.
Yeah.
They talked about the like the 6-6 drop rule, pretty much like what we said. If you're sixth place twice in a row, then you're out. Which I don't think is going to happen. Just knowing some spoilers of the show.
Okay.
But it's suspense, I guess. Of like, that'd be so sad though.
No, it would be so depressing, and like, it would just feel so bad for everyone involved.
Yeah. So pretty much, what they did was so a perk of, we talked about winning each round. You get to pick the order of the performances, but with the first round, there's no winner, obviously, to pick the order. So they get to scramble. And also, I could just say the first round, they get to like perform one of their songs. That's what the first performance
the first round was like supposed to be a like remix or like rehash one of your songs, like make something different about it. But so this one, to pick the order, they literally just did a free-for-all for 10 minutes.
And and if your name wasn't on it, then you got deducted like 1,000 points.
It was 2,000 points.
2,000.
Yeah, and the max was you could get 10,000, I think, or something. It was like 7,000 audience, 2,000
the whole
self-evaluation
thing is like going over my head, because one, they're not really explaining it well, and two, they're not showing everything. So it's just been a mess of trying to put together the scoring.
I think this one was 7,000 audience, 2,000 self-evaluation, and then I don't remember what the 1,000
and you get a bonus 2,000 from the special like audience guest.
That's okay. It was 7,000, 2,000 for the special audience, and then 1,000 was the self-evaluation. You could get up to 1,000 for that. And the 2,000 from the special audience was like all or nothing. Like whoever got the most votes got all 2,000 points. It wasn't spread out. So that was a pretty big boost.
Yeah, definitely.
But as for this like fun free for all thing, I thought it was funny. Like I was upset that nobody had the confidence to go last. Nobody wanted to go last at first.
Because they all kept saying, like, oh, you want last place. And then, like, none of them actually...
And then everyone was like, we can't be last place. We're not good enough for last place.
It's like with produce, how, like, everyone's like, oh, the number
first
one
place.
chair. But, like, no one
you'll get so much
for
screen time, and then nobody wants to go for it. Yeah. But I thought there were some good moments. I mean, overall, they were all being pretty nice. But then
some of them were trying to like shake things up, which was funny.
So Mamamoo, Moonbyul went up there and like moved AOA to last or put them first or last. I don't remember.
Well, Mamamoo put themselves first because they wanted to be first.
They wanted to be first. They're like, we'll take the bullet. We'll be first. No one will remember us. We'll be the senior group that does that. And then AOA ended up last just by like whatever was left, I think.
So I have like some notes. So like they did some moving, and then the order was Mamamoo, Bom, OMG, AOA, Lovelyz, I-dle. And then like there was still like a ton of time left. So then Moonbyul comes up and puts like OMG first, and then he'll just like sprint, like runs up, and she's just like no.
Yep.
And then let's see. I have like a play-by-play in my notes.
That's good because I did not.
And then Oh My Girl was saying that like, oh, maybe we should switch with Lovelyz. And so then Lovelyz, like, I love how they all just like casually, like, they just put the blanket down and they just like power walk up to the front, and they're just like, no. And there was some fighting. And then Solar was egging on Moonbyul to change things even more, which was just funny to watch. And then at the end, like towards like the last few minutes, they're all just, I think it was like Sohyun from AOA said, like, couldn't we just take off the I-dle's name at the end? Well, so then Miju went up and was like gonna like take it off and then putting it back on or something.
What Soyeon actually mentioned, like 30 seconds left, she's like, couldn't we just take off everyone's and everyone would lose 2,000 points?
That was it.
But Miju was making the joke that we should just take G-idols off because they're not there. So that was the thing, is like they could choose to leave G-idol off the board and they would lose 2,000 points since they weren't there. But obviously they're all gonna be nice.
If they had done it, man, that could have changed.
It could have changed. Yeah, that's true. So the other thing was funny that like OMG put Lovelyz first and Miju just bolted and just like it was like joke fighting with them. And then like one of the first prank Mamamoo did was switching AOA and themselves like first and last or something, and like AOA got so pissed off, like not realizing that Mamamoo was just screwing around and they were gonna change it back. So that because there was like a good minute or two where Mamamoo just left it there, and then eventually like Moonbull went back up and changed it back, and they were just like they realized they were just screwing around.
Yeah, the order pretty much in the end ended up being like what it was before they changed it. The only difference was like AOA and I-dle like switched. So it ended up being Mamamoo, Bom, OMG, I-dle, Lovelyz, AOA.
Yeah, because AOA eventually, at the beginning they didn't want to be last, but they eventually realized like we should do that. Like I think we can do it. Like they realized it was a good idea to go last. So yeah, that was pretty much it leading into the first round. Anything else before we get into the first round? Okay. So yeah, then we get to the actual performances. The show, like I said, it works pretty much similar to Produce. If you've seen Produce, like each of them go up in the order they determined. There's an audience there to vote on them. They just do their performance. You can see their reactions, the other group's reactions from backstage and stuff. So yeah, they introed it. Mamamoo went first, like we said. They did Daebak Komini. I can't say it either. I can normally say it. I'm just like my throat's really dry right now. But Daebak Komini.
Daebak Komini. Yeah.
Which is the right choice in my opinion.
It's definitely it's my favorite title track for them. Probably song. I don't know their discography that well, but
I think it's definitely their most popular song. I think it's either my first or second favorite song. And so what they did to mix it up was they changed up the intro, and they just had like this crazy like marching band performance.
Yeah, it was like a marching band style. Like they were like dressed as color guard.
Yeah, they were dressed as drum majors. They had like color guards doing a bunch of flag stuff, and they had like drum line.
Fake drums. I don't
fake
think...
drum line. They weren't actually playing because those girls at the beginning did not hit the drums correctly at all for what was being played.
It was like terrible form. Yeah. It was...
Yeah. But it was cool to see. It was like really hype. It was a really good way to start the concert, I think. Like, and the performance, it's Mamamoo. They really know how to hype up a crowd.
And I think like the biggest thing with this performance is. I really think you saw them at KCON a few years ago, right?
No, that was the year before I started going.
Okay.
That was Andrew. Andrew went alone for that one.
Okay. Because I saw them this year, and seeing Mamamoo live versus seeing Mamamoo through a screen is two completely different experiences. So like when I just watch Mamamoo performances, they don't do much for me. I mean, especially with this one, they're just kind of singing. And they're getting crowd interaction. Like when you're watching it through like a laptop, that's screen, not. But when you're actually like there, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Like, especially with this song, like in particular, hearing them sing live, they know how to work a crowd. But I think their biggest thing is it doesn't quite come through for the people watching at home. Yeah. So I think a lot of people like I don't know many people who said this was their favorite of the performances from this round, but. But what happens later is they were like the second, like
they did pretty well. We'll get to our rankings later, but they definitely weren't my favorite. I thought it was a good way to start the concert, but
it wasn't what I wanted from the show, especially after seeing the other performances that came like on this episode 2. This was like, oh, this is kind of nothing.
Yep. And then for the first episode, the other performance they had was Park Bom.
I actually had another note for Mamamoo. So because they go through like them practicing and everything when they're they didn't. They talked about like the ending fairy thing, how like the final camera shot.
They kept showing Arn.
What they showed times. The Arin clip where Jiho
where Jiho walked in. I know, I was so laughing
why are
so
they
hard.
Showing that one?
I was.
I
loved it.
I love that clip so much. There was a while in like the Oh My Girl Discord where that was like the logo, where if you put your mouse
it was
on
the GIF
it,
logo.
that was the GIF that showed.
that was amazing. I saw that and I was because I'd never seen that before.
I was like, why did they pick that one? It's just so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bom.
Well, there's one thing I forgot to mention with Mamamoo. One thing they talked about a lot is they had a concert the night before this performance, so they were really bad shape, like vocally, like because they had just done like a solo 4-hour concert or whatever the night before. So they were really tired and really hoarse, like, and their performance didn't show
a different version than the song that they practiced, a version that they practiced. I mean, this is definitely something if you've ever done like competition stuff, like dance, band, anything where you practice one version and then you have to change it. And you only have like a day to practice the new version.
It's very confusing.
Someone always messes up. Like it just happens. So
you could. Yeah, that's why I wanted to like. It was impressive that you couldn't tell like from their performance that they were in bad condition. Like I thought they did really well performance wise.
They started like editing, like something was gonna happen because like during the rehearsal, like Solar
they kept talking about she was like fall asleep and they're screwing up and
But they were fine. If they messed up, I don't think anyone noticed.
I didn't notice. So then next we have Park Bom. I thought so. She chose her older song "You and Me." I think it was You and I. You and I.
I had actually never heard this song before. I listened to it like yesterday because I was like, I should hear what the original sounded like.
I've heard it just from listening to 2NE1 albums, like randomly, but like I'd never really like sat down and like I didn't know it was a single or anything. Like I didn't know it was a big like solo debut song for her or anything. I think the intro lost its power because they repeated it like 40 times, showing every group's reaction to it. But it was just her doing like a powerful couple notes. She just did that.
They show the groups and they're like as if they don't know the song, but then later like, oh, this is the song. It's like, okay, after hearing the song, you can know what it is just by that.
Well, they did that at the beginning. They did that with Lovelyz too, where like OMG was like didn't know it was Achu until after it became the normal song, but like that's Achu instantly if you know that song, and OMG definitely knows that song. But the intro I thought was great, but it definitely lost that power because they repeated it and showed everyone's reactions.
Plus, the other part of like that intro is like, so she does the note. I don't know how many times she actually did it in real life, but then it was
3 times.
And then it was like she reset herself and the song started. It wasn't like an actual intro to the song. It was almost as if she was like warming up, and then it's like, okay, I'm good. Like let's start the song. It was weird. It could just be how it was showed. I mean, there is the version where you don't get all the reactions that they do upload those. I didn't
on YouTube
watch those recently enough to remember like how it sounded because keep in mind this was all like 3 weeks ago now. That these performances happened. But
I thought her choosing an old song was a good idea. I don't know how popular her newer songs were. I think they were amazing. I would have loved if she did her new songs.
I definitely loved the new song she did this year.
But I don't know if they really took off, and like doing an old song from like 2NE1 days where everyone knows it makes sense. There were definitely a couple points where it seemed like she wasn't in the best condition. Like there were a couple notes that I noticed were a little rough.
She has like a lymph nodes thing. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, actually. I've heard something about how they swell up.
I wouldn't be surprised. She spent a lot of time like massaging her throat beforehand and stuff, like drinking water, making sure it was good.
And talking to our bomb expert in the Discord, he definitely thinks that she wasn't feeling well, that there was something up.
I wouldn't be surprised. So then the big reveal for this was near the end. They like kind of stopped it and then they revealed like a whole choir behind her. That kind of did like an accompaniment. I thought it was cool. It was a nice cover for her being the only soloist. Because obviously all the other groups had different members that like got the spotlight, where she had to do everything herself. So I thought it was a nice cover, and it seems like that might be a theme, because in the previews for the next song, like she talked about bringing in a rapper because of the song she has to do. So it's like, is she's just like, because she's a soloist, she gets to bring in random people to help her, I guess. But we'll save that for.
I know, it's like hard to not talk about her like cover performance, like, because I've seen.
I haven't seen any of them, so
I've seen that episode, and I'm like, I try not to like
mix them up,
say like, or like compare them, you know,
of
like what she does in the next round versus what she did here.
Yeah,
because like I definitely, because this is something they just talk about in the next episode, where they think that she shouldn't have done that. She was like arrogant of just relying on her voice. Where she needed to do a performance, because all the other groups did like huge like performances, whereas when you compare, it's like Bom just kind of stood and sung and had a choir. But I definitely think I preferred this over what she ends up doing the next week. I won't go into detail about that, but I just liked this. Just felt more natural, I guess.
And fit her image.
And the song I liked the arrangement of the song, because like I said, I just recently listened to the original for the first time, and it is very different. You know, the original is a pop song, which was so weird, because I didn't hear that when hearing the arrangement they did, which I think that makes this a great arrangement, in that I didn't go, this is just like a ballad version, gospel style of a pop song. So I think they did a good job with it. And I mean, Bom she had her like, you know, her missteps or whatever with the performance, but I still enjoyed it. I don't think it was. I mean, I know it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was fine. I think people are being so harsh on Bom this show, and I'm just like, she's fine. Like,
no, I thought it was a good performance.
But
I'll let you lead the next one since it's your favorite.
Oh yeah, let me get to my second page, because now we're on episode 2.
So now we move into episode 2. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna split this into parts, but whatever. If it's up in parts, you'll know. If it isn't, then you know that I didn't.
So okay, let me get to my notes. Okay, so Oh My Girl's time, yay! So, one thing I thought was interesting with Oh My Girl is, so they're, you know, all the groups they show before the performances, them talking amongst themselves, maybe like the manager of what song to perform. And Oh My Girls was their
own song, like which song to perform.
Oh My Girls was interesting because Oh My Girl doesn't really have like a breakout song necessarily. They don't have like a hit like song. Like, when I say Oh My Girl, I feel like there isn't like that one song everyone thinks of. A lot of people think of different ones depending on what song it was for you.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't break out and have a huge hit in Korea, so there's not one single song people remember them by. If people know Oh My Girl, there's a specific song they think of, but it could be Windy Day, it could be Closer, like it is for me, it could be Coloring Book, like it could be...
Yeah, like, because for the longest time for me it was Liar Liar, because that was just the first like Oh My Girl song I knew. I thought that was their biggest one, and like now I know it's not, because it's just not. So, but I mean, I knew, like, I knew obviously because I had saw performances before I watched the episode, but I just kind of knew it's like, it's gonna be Secret Garden. Being in like the fandom, I just know how like that song has become like a song. I feel like amongst like Miracles, it was their first win. It's like they perform in that song everywhere now. Like that is just the song of Oh My Girl. So
I wasn't sure what they would pick, to be honest, because like I'm not as big into Oh My Girl as you are. I love their music, but I'm not a huge, like, I don't know the group that well. I know the members' names, but like that's about it. I know their personalities through you, but through what you've explained, basically. But so I had no idea what song they would pick. I thought they would go with Windy Day because I think that I thought that was fairly popular.
It's not that well known, I feel like, unless you know Oh My Girl.
I thought it did okay in Korea, but I guess that was wrong.
It was definitely known in Korea. Like everyone knew the dance. Okay. Like that's was the thing that everyone just knew the weird thing they did.
Yeah, they didn't actually know the song.
Yeah, that song itself, I feel like didn't have like much lasting power. Which, same though, it's my favorite title track of theirs.
I was obviously hoping they did Closer, but I knew they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't, but I really wanted them to. So I love that song.
Secret Garden just felt that felt like the right choice of what they were
I agree.
do.
Once they like talked through it and like they're like, yeah, this is our first win. This means a lot to us. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the performance itself, I'm not a huge Secret Garden fan. It's actually my least favorite title track from Oh My Girl. I think it's because there's like an actual like personal story behind why it's like my least favorite one. And a lot of it's just because I remember when I first heard it, I was just like, Oh My Girl's not for me. And like now it's like they're my favorite group. And I was like, I can't believe I dismissed them because of that song. And it's like, it's a beautiful song. It did nothing for me on first listen back when I didn't know Oh My Girl.
Yeah.
And I always just remember that when I hear that song. But I love Secret Garden now. Like, it's great. It's a great song. And I really loved the remix that they did. So what they did differently was like they had the ribbons at the beginning, which that was cool. There was a behind the scenes thing of them practicing with the ribbons, and they kept like pulling them out of each other's hands. And so like they were struggling with them. But yeah, they had the ribbons. The actual remix they did, I'm trying to like remember like a good way of describing it.
The intro,
it's like a Celtic feel.
The intro to it had like a flute and string like focus and was like Celtic is a good way to describe it. I guess
I was getting like fairy vibes.
Yeah, exactly. It was very fairy tale sounding,
which is so Oh My Girl because they're known as like a magical group. Like they're like they're fairies. Like they're just it fit their their brand so well, which I think really benefited them. Unlike another group who kind of did a different route and it hurts them in the end.
We'll get there.
So, yeah, exactly. And my biggest complaint of the performance was they did the ribbon thing and then they just like walk to the other stage.
Yeah.
I was just like, this isn't a performance. What are they doing? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, that was my main issue with like I really love the remix. I thought it was amazing sounding. I thought they did really well. He had some amazing ad libs in that performance too.
I think I had that same note. Her ad libs at the end sounded incredible. Hyo's vocals sounded amazing, especially because of how empty the arrangement was. It really let their vocal shine because they are just two of my favorite vocalists in K-pop. I think they're very underrated. They're not thought of often with K-pop vocalists, but like Hyo especially, Hyo can just belt and she'll just sing like, and then Sunggi has really great ad libs. It was great. But one thing I did notice is there was a mistake in their performance. Mimi definitely did the choreo wrong at one point during the bridge. Yeah, during the bridge when Yua has her part and she's walking through and they like stand up and like do like a little pose or whatever.
Yeah.
Mimi went up too early, but like because it's like I forgot who goes up. It might have been like I don't actually remember. But yeah, Mimi stood up and she had to wait like the extra like 4 counts and then do her pose. And when I first saw it, I was like, I don't think that's right. And then I watched another performance. I was like, yeah, she definitely messed up there. But it was like no one would notice. I only noticed because I was just like, wait, that doesn't seem right. Like I also had watched that performance like 10 times. So
yeah,
I was going to notice something like that.
Yeah, but I agree with like the same issue you had with it. I had with it. Like the intro was so cool and the ribbons are so cool, and then they just forgot all that and went and did the normal choreography off to the side. And I was just like, oh, I kind of wish they like kept the ribbons in and like did like change it up more. Which is something I had an issue with a few of the groups. Which we'll get to when we rank them. It definitely makes me scared for their next
performance too, because they have like another ribbon thing and like don't do the same thing. Yeah.
You haven't seen all of the group's performances for the next round? You just saw
No, they've only done 3. Episode 4 has
subbed. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, next that's it for Oh My Girl. You good?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. Next we have I-dle. And they definitely had the most like screen time for their intro because they definitely put the most work into it. So basically
it had the most like story behind it.
Yeah. So what they did is they went into the recording booth, and so Soyeon, like, she does all of their music production, and apparently I didn't know this, but even their like concept production and helps with the music video.
It sound like she literally does runs the group. She's like thing.
Yeah,
like she runs the group.
Everything. She manages the group.
A name behind it, like giving them money.
Which blew my mind. I was like, I knew she did the music production. I didn't know she did costuming and concept and helped with the choreo and everything. I was like, geez, you're insanely talented. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so she came up with this idea of doing like a sorcerer thing, where they'd all be like sorceresses. And it would be like super dark, like they'd all be wearing all black like dresses, and it'd be like all gothic-y.
Like witches.
Yeah, they'd be like witches. And she wanted to do this like casting a spell like sound to intro it, and they chose Latata, which is their debut, and they won with it, and within like 7 days or whatever, so it was pretty obvious, like everyone knows that song blew up. So yeah, she wanted to do like a sorcerer, like casting a spell, like really creepy sound effect type thing going, and they did like fun little auditions where she was like videotaping them doing it, and she's like everyone try, and we'll see who does it the best. And she started with like Shua, I think was first.
I don't really remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Shua, because Miyeon and one of the others didn't do it at all. She
went for the foreign members, because she wanted it in their native language.
Yeah, she wanted to do it and not in Korean.
So Sujin was the other one who didn't do it then.
Yeah, that's right. So she started with Shua, and Shua did like something, and she thought it was good. Like, it was pretty good, because she wanted something like darker sounding, like deep voice, like. And Yuki is like, I could do it. My voice would be really good for that. And she goes over to Yuki, and she's like, Yuki's about to start, and she's like, nope, you're too cute. Just turns around. I was like, I agree. Like, Yuki's voice would be perfect for it, but she's too cute. And then she went to Minnie, and Minnie killed it, and I agree. Like, the instant she said that, I was like, Minnie needs to do this, because she would kill it. She could definitely have like a dark sorceress vibe to her. And Tai sounds really cool.
So I'm guessing, so you didn't see the performances until like watching the episode, right?
Correct. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't watch anything before.
I've just been spoiling the crap out of the show for myself. Because like I just have to know everything that's happening. So I watched the performance when they uploaded it on YouTube. Yeah. And not knowing anything about the performance
that was coming. Yeah.
That was so freaky. Like, especially when she starts speaking in Thai, I was like, whoa.
What is happening?
Because it didn't like really register. Like, I saw the subtitles or whatever of it, and I really was like, the whole like being put in a spell thing really happened. Like how it is.
It got the intended effect.
Oh yeah, whereas like I felt like after knowing what was going to happen, it like definitely didn't have that effect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I kind of wish I had seen it beforehand, not knowing anything, because that would have been really cool. It would have been. I think what they should have done is they should have shown the intro and then flashback to that stuff, so that the audience got that effect, and then they're like, here's what they're doing, and then go to show the whole performance.
I've definitely found, like, in general with the show, I like watching the performances first, and then watching the show as like a behind the scenes of the whole thing. So it's like, because it's like if you watch the behind the scenes of a music video before watching the music video, it's weird.
Loses
like
its
if you watch the special features of a movie before watching the movie, it's like it kind of ruins it in a way. But I mean, I understand like not spoiling it before the show as well.
Yeah, I honestly
I don't have the strength to do that.
In some cases I'd rather have seen the show beforehand, but there are a few exceptions like this where I kind of wish I saw the performance before I'd watch the show. Before I knew what was going in. But yeah, as for the performance, like I said, they definitely put the most work into it out of all the groups that we've seen so far. They had a whole theme. The intro, like we said, we talked about with the cold casting a spell, was really cool. Where the first dance break, they changed it to be completely different choreography. They all did like very like wavy casting spell movements to fit that sorceress theme. And I thought it was really cool. And then they saved the dance break for a second dance break at the end. And they did the normal choreography there. And the arrangement was just so cool. It was just like a much darker, like cooler sounding Latata. Like, I don't know, everything about it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really pretty cool. Yeah, Soyeon like snapped at one point, and she just like starts crawling on the floor to the crowd, and I was like, okay,
well, yeah,
calm down a little bit. But
they had their backup dancers were doing like crazy, like super like flexible movements where they're like bending completely backwards and like just being all creepy, and and that was during that same part where she was just rapping and surrounded by backup dancers.
It was a pretty crazy performance. Yeah.
Everything you wanted to talk about for I-dle?
Yeah, I have like one more note. I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this, but I think like the only thing about them is like I think it is still very evident that they are a younger group, because I think they do a really good job of like the members who really have stage presence. Like you're really just watching them. Like Soyeon, like when she's up in front, you can't look away from her. But some of the other members still do have like rookie, parts to them. They haven't quite gotten like either like the confidence, like you can see it growing. Like I remember watching, those first Latata stages, and there was some rough parts about it, just kind of with the stage presence. But like, they're young, they're growing, and so I think something like this is helpful to them to get that more, and especially just get the confidence of it, because you can definitely already see it with the performance, like especially like Minya, like I swear that was a terrible pronunciation of her name, but whatever. She's been getting a lot better and just having presence with the stage. I don't know. Hopefully people are okay with me saying that.
It'll be fine. I still think it was a great performance. Yeah, nobody's gonna hate on you for that. I don't know, maybe someone will, but whatever. He'll deal with it. They'll just post a YouTube comment and then we'll laugh at it on Discord probably.
They'll just be like, "Oh, my girl had no presence." I was like, maybe.
Like,
you're probably right.
No, they had awesome presents because they had ribbons. Okay, so then we move on to Lovelyz, and they did Achu, which is their huge song. Like everyone in Korea knows that song.
That's my favorite Lovelyz song.
It was their biggest song. It was the pretty obvious choice. But they decided to add like a more powerful twist to it, which just like that sentence was hilarious to me. Or just like how do you make this like super cute song about sneezing powerful? So like I thought that was an interesting choice. I kind of knew they would try to do something more powerful. They like, because that's like Lovelyz is never broken from their thing. Like they're innocent,
their concept.
Lovely.
They haven't had that A Pink moment.
Yeah, they haven't had the A Pink moment. They haven't had the Run Devil Run moment. Like they've always been innocent, lovely girl group. And so they always talk about like all their concerts. They do like complete change ups and do sexy songs and like powerful songs, and like they save that all for like concerts and stuff. So I knew they would try to do that kind of twist on it, because that's the obvious choice of how to remix a Lovelyz song. The intro was awesome. It was just like this really cool like EDM like hard intro to Achu, and then it was only the intro. It was the same thing as Oh My Girl, where I was like, why wasn't the whole song this like cool powerful EDM version? You just went into like basically the song. Like I could barely tell any difference after that intro, except for the dance break. And like they changed most of their change ups were in the choreography. Like the song itself outside of that intro was basically Achu. Like there was very little difference that I noticed. But yeah, so they changed up the choreography. They basically just like they mostly followed the same choreography, just tried to do it like more powerfully. But then they added in a dance break.
Yeah, they like changed it in the first time they did the chorus, and then like the second time then they did the actual like original choreo. It was like kind of like a way to like please both kinds of fans. So doing the original to like appease like the actual Lovelyz fans who like them for what they do, as well as showing something different.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of like smart.
Yeah, definitely.
Just kind of showing both.
And ever, like I said, the Achu is huge. Like everyone in Korea knows that choreography. Like it's an iconic. Like the sneezing choreography. Like it's pretty iconic. But yeah, so then they did a dance break. Like a big focus was Yeon and Miju doing a dance break.
Holding the hands.
Yeah, where they had to like spin around holding hands, and they kept like screwing it up and letting each other go, and then they also had to do the whole thing where they like
the shoes.
They're sitting on their knees with their legs to one side, and then they like twist so their legs are on the other side.
Downward dog thing, and like
I don't know how to describe it. It's like
their hair.
Yeah, but then their shoes are like getting stuck on the stage during the rehearsals and stuff, and so they're like super worried about it. But I thought they did pretty flawlessly. Like I didn't notice any major mistakes during the actual performance of it. So that's why I was like, they put so much focus on them, like making sure they're doing it right and like to not screw it up, that I just assumed it was Mnet setting it up for failure and they were going to do horrible.
Another thing of like watching the performance before ever seeing all of that was I did not notice this move. Like it wasn't really a big thing. And then I was like, wow, they really like focused on this like one part of the performance, and like I feel like the camera actually didn't even really show it. For all we know, they might have messed up, and Mnet was trying to cover it.
Like, that is true. That because the one thing that made me angry, like at the very end of the dance break, Yeon does a standing kick over Miju, like she does like a kick like over her head. The camera did not highlight that at all. And I was like, that was an awesome move. And it was showing a group shot, like crane shot. Yeah. So you could barely see that it happened. I was like, the editing was so weird on the performance.
I was trying to like analyze the hand thing that they kept talking about, how they'd like have to grab hands or whatever. I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. And at the time, they do like, they expand out and you like see like the group or something. I
was like, this is a 2-member dance break. Why are you showing the whole group? Like the whole point was this dance break. It was the editing for that performance was really weird, and I don't think for my rankings it didn't do them any favors. Which sucked.
I say my biggest issue with this performance, not really an issue, but my biggest complaint was they're doing like a charismatic like version of the song, but like their voices aren't matching.
They're still doing their normal voices and their high pitched voices. They should have toned it down and brought the pitch down.
I think that really like I couldn't like get there because I was so like I don't even know how to describe it, but it didn't sit well like with that or something.
It was too opposed, like the two parts of the song, like.
Yeah, but I was there for the idea of it. Like, when they did like the first chorus and it was all spaced out and they had like the jackets like over their face, like I was like, oh, that's awesome. But it was.
They needed to do more.
Yeah, they needed to actually commit to it. Which, spoiler for the next episode, I think they do commit more. Okay, so
that's good.
That's exciting.
That is exciting for me as a Lovelyz fan. Because I was a little disappointed by this performance. And so then we get to AOA, last but not least. They start out by showing a lot of their practice and them screwing up, especially Haejung.
Oh my god, I love her. I love her so
Haejung's great. She's always been one of my favorites.
There's like 5 people in the show that I just like am absolutely in love with because of like the screen time they get, and she's one of them.
Well, she's really good. She was actually on like SNL Korea for a long time, so she's like
funny.
She's like got a good like sense of humor and knows how to play up like humor and stuff, so I think that helps. But she definitely got screwed the most out of them losing the 2 members and having to change the choreography, because they start out and like none of them could remember the choreography, like they were just
that was funny.
Completely screwed. And then it started coming back to them, but Haejung was the most like screwed up by it, by them having to change up parts and stuff, because her part like so they chose miniskirt, which was once again the obvious choice. I think it was definitely.
I don't really know what you don't know
AOA. Like, no, yeah, miniskirt.
Song, but like that to me wasn't like an obvious choice. Like it is one of their popular songs, yes, and like I know it. I didn't like the song choice personally myself, but like the song choice made sense. Like I get why they did it. Yeah,
by obvious choice. I mean, they like it was their biggest. It was either that or like Heart Attack.
I would say like I know Heart Attack, Like a Cat,
or Like a Cat. Yeah, those three. But I'm pretty miniskirt. I'm looking at the music video views. Has the highest it's at 91 million. The other two are at like 70 million. So like, if you go by that, which it's not a true metric, but also the funniest thing, if I search on YouTube AOA, the first two things are from the performances from Queendom more than their. Actually, the first three things are their performances from Queendom over their music videos.
Yeah.
So that shows how. Hopefully, this is helping their popularity.
It's helping everyone.
Yeah, I mean they were. If you've been around, they were a huge group, and then they just haven't done anything the past 3 years. So, like they've just lost pretty much most of their popularity, and they've lost 2 members, like we said. So yeah, they did a Latin remix of Miniskirt. Starts out with like a lot of like Spanish guitar stuff. It still has Jimin saying "Hey" 4 million times at the beginning. I thought it was hilarious seeing Oh My Girl and Lovelyz react to the sexy choreography, because they were just like it's not something, because this is something we've talked about in Discord and stuff, is like we don't get these kinds of girl groups anymore. Like we don't get powerful sexy girl groups anymore. It's just not a thing that Korea's into right now. So
yeah, it's all about the girl crush.
It's about it's about like girl crush, powerful girl crush, or cute innocent girl groups, and that's all we get. There's no more like
no more secret,
no more AOA, no more
like EXID
really. Even like
Mamamoo is really like the closest thing right now to like
but even then they're like
power girl group, But like they don't really like do it like
they're leaning much more into the powerful side than the sexy side. Like they don't go all out. And I'm not saying
they've been doing more
especially Hwasa with all of her solo stuff.
Hwasa and Solar.
And Solar too, yeah. So yeah, like it was just funny seeing Oh My Girl and Lovelyz watch the choreography to Miniskirt, which is one of the like sexiest girl group choreography out there. She's like, they did the zipper, they unzipped it. It's just like, that's the choreography. They have to unzip it. Like, but
isn't there a censored choreo to this song?
Yes, I think they did. There was a version of this that was censored.
Yeah, but they went full on.
They went full on
original.
And then they took it even further, and they did chair choreography, and They went all out for this, and they really showed off that they still have that stage presence and that performance like ability. Because I was a little worried, like I said, they haven't done anything in 2 years. I think early 2017 was their last release.
Spring of last year.
Was it last year when they did the Bingo Bangle, and the other one? Yeah. God, I thought that was 2017. But yeah, still, it's been over a year, a year and a half. I was a little, and they not having two members, like I was a little worried how they do, but I think they showed that they still have the ability to really like command the stage and put off like a really good performance. I liked the mix up where Chanmi left and went off to a side stage, and it was just 4 of them, and then the camera panned over, and Chanmi had a solo with some.
Where's the other member?
There's only 4 of them, and then panned to the right, and Chanmi had a couple backup dancers and had like a little solo dance break. I thought that was a nice mix up. But yeah, I thought the performance was really good. I was really impressed with it. I think part of that might have been my expectations were lower for them, but especially just. not just because they've been gone for so long. I really like AOA. I really liked AOA when they were debuted because they were a band portion of them that got murdered instantly. But I still followed AOA and I still enjoyed their music. But yeah, it wasn't just because they've been gone so long. It was just their confidence was so low and they just looked so like tired and defeated. Like, so I was like just worried how they would do. But once they got back on stage, they just like turned it back, flipped a switch, like turned it back on. They knew what they were doing. They looked like the like senior idols that they are for this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you pretty much said everything I had. I didn't really have much to this. I mean, my biggest like thing with this song is like, yeah, like I said, miniskirts, no, not my favorite AOA song. I'm also not a huge Latin fan. So like this performance definitely didn't get me hype as much as it got like everyone else in the world. Yeah. So like I definitely found I'm like, okay, I'm definitely in the minority. I'm like, I don't hate, like it was a great performance. Yeah. But I wasn't like freaking out over it. I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean the remix part of it didn't catch me too much. Like I'm also like not the biggest Latin fan. I like some stuff. I thought it was a nice mix up, but like it was basically entirely their performance that got them all the points in my book, like not the actual like remix of the song.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing that I like hurt them for me is like all like the performances I liked the most were ones who like really did something like big and like had that like impact. Whereas this didn't really have that for me. Yeah. Like I remember my first time watching it, I actually didn't finish the performance because I'm like, oh, it's just miniskirt. And then like I saw the full performance later. It's like, oh, I see what they did now. Like the whole chairs and dance break. I was like, okay, I see it now. Yeah. But yeah, it was still great. Like it wasn't my least favorite performance, definitely, but it wasn't my favorite. Like I think it was for a lot of people. But I understand why it's a lot of people's favorite performance.
Yeah. So that's it for the 6 performances. So then they went back. They did like a self-evaluation voting. So basically each group got to vote one group that was better than them and one group that was worse than them.
Yes, but apparently, according to Mnet, they didn't have to. I guess. Like
yes, because there was some voting discrepancies and it was really confusing on how this all worked out. And they did, because then they revealed on like to each other who voted for what, but then they didn't air all of it, so it was really confusing who got how many votes.
And you'll see that like because they had like a graphic showing it too, and you'll notice like there's 3 votes that are missing. Yep. And people like
never explained that.
Confused, and so what happened? I guess people like emailed Mnet about it or something like that, and pretty much Mnet was saying like, oh, if they thought they were the best, they didn't have to vote. Like, or if they thought they were the worst. I think it was people.
I think it was the best because there was I think 6 votes down, but there were only 3 up.
Yeah, which was like interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to explain it because people are emailing. You should have definitely edited that a lot better to explain it in the show. Yeah. Because I was confused there too, and then you posted that like tweet about what people were saying, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. I'm not the only one that was confused, luckily. So there's that, and then we talked about you get 2,000 points for having the special votes from the audience. They actually brought a bunch of trainees in from a bunch of different entertainment companies to watch these performances. So those were the special audience. And
some of them were on Produce.
Yeah, apparently.
I wouldn't know, but I know. I heard.
I didn't know either since we didn't really watch Produce X101 much. But yeah, so they got some bonus points. I think Giotto won that. Right?
Yeah,
or did Mamamoo won? Okay.
And Mamamoo, I-dle won, yeah.
That's right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, they got 2,000 extra votes. And then AOA got the 1,000 self-evaluation votes, I think.
Oh, so I have like I have. Well, you got like I thought 1,000 points if someone voted you like up. I actually don't.
I don't know. It was really confusing. I don't know, but they ordered them based on that. Do you have like the graphic?
Well, I don't have the graphic, but I have like who voted who like up or down.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Mamamoo had AOA better than them. I-dle had AOA better than them and OMG lower. Bom had OMG lower. And then OMG had Bom lower, which was so funny. Like the whole Bom OMG, like
there's so much dynamic between the two.
But Oh My Girl, they did a thing where they just put like they wrote everyone's name and picked one. But it was just, Bom's reaction was just so funny. She's like, I guess I'll just leave now. Like it's okay. And she's like, I wish I had my members. I'm like, I could not imagine Oh My Girl first like 21.
Yeah, CL just goes off on Oh My Girl.
Yeah. And then AOA like stood up for this. Or no, it was I-dle who stood up. No, it was I-dle that stood up for when they were gonna announce who they voted lower. Yeah. And like they went for Oh My Girl. And then AOA also.
It was because one I-dle is the rookie group, so like they're obviously like
and it was the third,
and they were the third. So yeah, it was like and OMG was getting like more and more depressed as it happened. So it was like Bom happened,
and then like started crying. And Mimi is like, "What are you doing?"
And they're just like covering her with the blankets. Like G-I-dle was like felt so bad.
Yeah, like I'm not surprised she cried from that because she's a very passionate leader.
Yeah.
Like, she's it's funny because she's so like cute and bubbly that you wouldn't expect her to really like be like a leader, but she really does put like a lot of passion in Oh My Girl. But it was so sad seeing her cry from that. And so I think that's pretty much all for that. And then then the placement. So then they had the placement of all the points, right?
Yeah.
So it ended up being I-dle, Mamamoo, Oh My Girl, which was like the big surprise, and Hyojung starts crying even more, and they have to like cover her face.
That's where they covered her face. Okay.
Yeah, and it was funny because Miracles saw that in the preview of the show, and all the Miracles were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she cried. Who made her cry?" And then it's like from this, and it's just like the stupid thing. Like everyone's just been laughing because it's so cute. So it's I-dle, Mamamoo, OMG, AOA, Bom, then Lovelyz placed last, which was like kind of surprising. I mean, it's not really surprising, but between like Lovelyz and Bom, I felt like it could have gone either way for last place.
It's hard to tell because like Bom doesn't have the star power that she used to, and like you never know with like.
She also hasn't really been around lately, you know?
Yeah, exactly. She just started doing music again in Korea like this year. She hasn't done anything for years before that because of her scandal. So like it's kind of a toss up of how well like you think the audience will react to her and how well they'll know her or the song she did and that type of stuff. And there were that was the weird thing, like in the audience, there were clearly like they brought groups of fans of each of the groups because they were doing fan chants and stuff.
They had light sticks.
Sticks, yeah. So like I was like, isn't this a little biased of your audience? Like, shouldn't you bring in random people, not like? I mean, I'm thinking it was just small sections just to get the fan chants and stuff, and then
I'm guessing they got like a certain number of like the fans and whatnot. I'm actually like, I guess I don't know for sure how that works. I don't know how people get into the show. I know there's some people on Oh My Girl Cord who are like going to some of the future episodes.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know how, like...
It's probably a raffle.
Yeah. But I don't know how they, like, choose. But I guess that's why they have, like, the special guests who are doing the voting.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the special guests for next episode are, like, really not biased. It's kind of funny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess we could talk about our own rankings then, and we'll close out the show.
Yeah.
Because that was it for everything that happened in the first two episodes. So I guess I'll go first. My rankings, so this isn't actually the same order of my rankings, but I kind of saw them like in 3 different groups. So I had like Lovelyz AOA and Oh My Girl in a like lumped together in a group where they like didn't change the song enough. In my opinion, like they did good performances, but they needed to do more. I had Bom and Mamamoo in a lump together in that I had a big problem with them because they didn't relied on an external factor for their big mix up that like they didn't change up much. Like Bom changed her song a lot, but like her the big thing about her song was a choir. Like it wasn't even her singing. And then Mamamoo's big thing was like this whole 40 backup dancers doing this marching band thing. Like it wasn't them. Like so those two, like those were I wish they did more themselves to mix up their performance.
Yeah.
Where AOA, Oh My Girl, Lovelyz, they needed to change the song up more. And then I think I-dle killed it. Like I-dle was easily my number one. I think they changed the song up. They they relied on themselves to change the song up and do something cool. Like I think they did it perfectly. So my order is, like I said though, that order isn't entirely like they're not lumped in that order, but my order is I-dle and then AOA. I was really impressed with their performance, so they got bonus points, even though I think they should have changed more. Then Oh My Girl, I really love the intro. And like I said, I wish they continued it. And then I put Park Bom above Lovelyz, even though I think Park Bom didn't change, like she relied on that choir as like her big thing. She changed the song a lot, whereas Lovelyz I think didn't do enough. Like it was pretty much just Achu with a cool intro and then a dance break that Mnet edited horribly and ruined their score even more for me. And then I actually put Mamamoo last. Like I said, my biggest problem was it was them doing Daebak, but they like the big thing was not them at all. It was the marching band and their backup dancers. Like when you're focusing on the backup dancers the most for your performance, like I think that was a big mistake.
Yeah. I think this is another thing to kind of bring up with how I watched the performances before watching the show was so Mamamoo and Bom were the first week. I didn't realize, I actually didn't even notice that they changed the songs. It's like that. I didn't know You
didn't know You and I, yeah.
And then the Mamamoo, it was just the
song. They didn't change
it.
Yeah, they just had a cool intro and then they just performed Daebak.
And it's like, it wasn't like this weird enough change for me to be like, whoa, you know, like I had no idea the theme of the first.
That was
like
a big problem for me.
I remember then watching the performances for the second episode. I was like, whoa, these performances are so much better. Like they're doing so much. And then I was like, oh, now that I understand, like I guess I see it. So I totally agree with Bom and Mamamoo. Like, so I didn't actually write down a ranking. It's so hard to rank these to me. Like for me, I don't know. Plus, I have a huge bias in this.
Yeah.
So like, Oh My Girl's obviously just like first place because I'm like I said, I don't like Secret Garden, but I like got goosebumps and was kind of emotional because like even though I don't like the song, there is still like a meaning behind it or something. Like there's some connection to that song now, and like to hear that version of it was really cool. And I like Celtic music, so to have that effect to it was really nice. After that, I guess I'd put I-dle because that mini intro just did it for me. It was like I said, it wasn't as good on the second and third watch of it. A lot of the performances on the multiple viewings didn't quite hit the same way because the impact's gone. So I've kind of become a little like on a lot of them. So I think that because of that, though, it made me realize how good AOA's actually was because theirs actually seemed to get better the more I watched it, whereas the others kind of seemed to go down. So I put AOA third. I probably put Lovelyz next. Lovelyz was one I like was really excited about when I first watched it because I was like, oh my god, they changed it. Like this was such a cool idea for them. Yeah. Even though like the more I watch, I'm like, okay, it's kind of meh, but I still really enjoyed it. And then I'd also then put Bom, then Mamamoo last. Yeah. Which I feel like is maybe like controversial. I know a lot of people still love the performance, but it's like it was a Mamamoo concert kind of with what the show was doing. I think it wasn't a success.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a miss.
Yep. I think we agree on those two being the most like, yeah, miss of what the point of the concept was.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds like you agree with my lumped rankings, except you just threw OMG at the beginning, which we assumed would happen. So, yeah, I guess if you guys enjoyed this, let us know what your rankings of the performances are in the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode, Shy Guy, wait until the very end to knock the
stretched
laptop
out and
over.
Pushed. He's getting angsty now.
It's okay. We're almost over. It's almost over, Shy Guy. So yeah, if you like this episode, let us know in the comments and like the video. We'll definitely continue to cover this show. Like I said, we're gonna hope to do every other week and keep up with the show so that every 2 episodes, we assume every 2 episodes is going to be a group of performances. So if that keeps up, we'll do it that way. If they change it up later on, we'll probably just stick to a show for every performance group of performances. But I assume it's every 2 episodes.
I don't know if will we be too slow if it's every other week though? I mean, like this episode or this week's the 4th episode, and like
so
it all depends on the subs.
Yeah, it depends on the subs, but I've been saying every 2 weeks, but I think the plan is like hopefully we'll record episode 2 next week, and then it'll be every 2 weeks. So like this episode's late, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll hopefully we'll record next week. So you might see the episode 2 next week after this comes out. We'll see what happens depending on the subs. But yeah, then the plan is once we're caught up to the show, it'll be every 2 weeks. So that
the first
basically
2 episodes were slow.
Yeah, basically when the subs come out, we'll record that week, and then or that weekend after the subs come out, and then it'll go up later that week. So yeah, if you like the video, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Join Discord, like I said at the beginning. Follow us on Twitter, and comment below what your thoughts are. Any last thoughts, Sam?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's the only thing that we didn't really touch on was the whole like changing room scandal thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's like
it wasn't really a scandal. I don't know.
Pretty much, Neverlands were upset that I-dle had a small changing room and Mamamoo had like a big one. It was like that's like the biggest like controversy of the show so far. I think that's a big thing to point out about the show is how like happy all the fans have been, how successful these groups have been. Like the show was like the number 2 non-drama or whatever. All like the songs have been like charting. Oh My Girl was number 4 on the girl brand ranking, which is insane. They were behind like Twice, Blackpink, and like Red Velvet, or it was like the 3 biggest girl groups, and then Oh My Girl, which that was really cool to see as well. So it's been great for everyone.
I think it's nice that and I think it's because they didn't bring anyone on that was like super popular like Twice. Like the fans are able to just kind of realize that this show will help everyone. Yeah. And those fandoms are just more chill because they're not as big.
Yeah.
Not as toxic.
Overall, really loving Queendom so far. I think it's been a great show, and I'm really excited to like keep watching it.
Yeah, so. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes a lot. I'm excited to see what performances come out next week. Oh, I guess we also so the next performances they have to cover each other's songs.
Yeah. So at the very end. Far, all we know from those episodes is I-dle is covering Bom. Right.
I thought they went through all of them. Yeah, because so like because I-dle and Bom are covering each other, AOA and Mamamoo are covering each other, and the Lovelyz and Oh My Girl are covering each other. Yeah. Which I was disappointed in because I really wanted one of the other 4 groups to do a Lovelyz or OMG style song.
Yeah, I was upset about that. Yeah, like and I'm also there's a thing with I don't want to go into spoilers.
No, we'll save it for next episode. Wow. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope we'll see you next time.
Bye. Stay queenie. I don't know.
Stay throbbingly queenie.
Yeah.